All right, let's dive in. We're going deep today
Very
into a study that's shaking things up a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit of a controversial one.
It is, it is. So it's,
Well, I mean, anything that challenges Darwin, right?
exactly, it's like, whoa, hold on.
Gets people riled up.
And it's based on this online video, so we're kind of
Yeah, we're going down the rabbit hole a little
down the rabbit hole with this one.
with this one.
So what's this study all about?
Basically, it's saying that about 90% of Earth's species, all appeared at basically the same time.
Whoa.
Like, boom. All of a sudden, between 100,000 and 200,000 years ago.
Okay, so not gradually over millions of years,
Oh.
like Darwin's theory.
Yeah, Darwin's theory said, slow, gradual change.
Right, the whole survival of the fittest.
Yeah, but this study, it's like, nah, not so much.
And it was published in a legit U.S. journal, right?
Yeah, a prestigious one, so it's not just some fringe theory.
So how are they explaining this, sudden appearance of everybody?
Well, the study points to the lack of transitional species in the fossil record.
Okay, transitional species, what does that mean?
It's like, imagine if evolution was like a flip book, right?
Okay, I'm with you.
Each page is slightly different, so you flip through and you see the gradual change.
Like from ape to human kind of thing.
Exactly. But the problem is, we're missing a lot of pages in that flip book.
So we don't have all those in-between stages.
Yeah, where's the missing link? Where are all those weird, half-formed creatures?
No mermaids.
No mermaids, no, sadly.
So if Darwin's theory is right, shouldn't we see those missing links?
Exactly. And that's always been a point of contention for people who doubt evolution.
So what do evolutionary biologists say about that?
Well, there's a theory called punctuated equilibrium.
Punctuated equilibrium. Sounds intense.
It basically says that evolution isn't always gradual. It can happen in bursts.
Like long periods of nothing and then bam, change.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine a species just chilling, doing its thing for ages, then suddenly environment changes, boom.
They got to adapt or die.
Exactly. And that's when you get these rapid bursts of evolution.
So it's not always a smooth, steady process. It's more like...
Starts and stops, jumps and leaps.
Okay, interesting. So this study, with its sudden appearance of species, it kind of fits with that punctuated equilibrium idea.
It does. And you know what else it kind of aligns with?
What's that?
Creationism.
Oh, wow. Okay, creationism, the idea that...
A higher power just created everything as is, no evolution needed.
Right, right. And this study, with everything appearing quickly, it kind of lends some support to that, in a way.
Yeah, on the surface, it does seem to fit, doesn't it?
So we've got a scientific study, maybe supports punctuated equilibrium, maybe supports creationism. This is getting kind of wild.
Wild. And the video we're looking at takes it even further into totally uncharted territory.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Where are we going now?
Buckle up. We're heading into the realm of alien creationism.
Alien creationism. Okay, this is getting interesting.
Right. This theory basically says aliens came to Earth.
Aliens. Like little green men.
Not necessarily green, but yeah. Aliens came to Earth and created humans.
Okay, why would they do that?
Well, according to this author, Zecharia Sitchin, they needed gold.
Gold? Seriously, they traveled across space for gold.
Apparently they needed it to fix their planet's atmosphere or something.
So they came here, created us, and put us to work mining gold.
That's the gist of it, yeah.
Wow, that's a pretty wild idea.
It is. But he bases it on these ancient Sumerian texts.
The Sumerians, those guys were way ahead of their time, right?
Yeah.
With the astronomy and all that.
Oh, absolutely. They had surprisingly advanced knowledge for their time.
And what do these Sumerian texts say about these gold-loving aliens?
They talk about a planet called Nibiru and its inhabitants, the Anunnaki.
Nibiru, okay. And these Anunnaki are the ones who...
Supposedly created us.
And there's stuff in these texts about Nibiru having this crazy long orbit, right?
Yeah, 3,600 years.
Yeah.
And they say the Anunnaki lived for hundreds of thousands of years.
Hundreds of thousands of years. That's a long time.
A long time. So you got to wonder why the creator of this video chose to highlight those details, right?
Yeah, it makes you think.
It does make you think.
So how does this all tie back to that study we were talking about, the one with the sudden appearance of species?
Well, alien creationism proponents say the Anunnaki arrived on Earth right around that time.
Like 100,000 to 200,000 years ago.
Right. So they're saying maybe, just maybe, all those ancient myths about gods coming down from the sky.
Those are actually about these aliens.
Exactly. And they point to similarities between ancient structures around the world, like the pyramids.
Like the Egyptians and Mayans got their building tips from aliens.
That's what they're suggesting, yeah.
Wow. That's...
a lot to take in.
It is. So we've got this study, might support punctuated equilibrium, might support creationism, and now we've got aliens in the mix.
It's a wild ride, for sure.
It is, it is. And this alien creationism thing, there's even more to it, right?
Oh, yeah. It gets even weirder, trust me.
Well, I'm all ears.
Okay, so they say that these Anunnaki, they got worried about humans, thought we might rebel against them.
Rebel against our alien overlords. Sounds familiar.
Right. So what did they do? They decided to limit our intelligence.
Whoa, hold on. They're saying we're walking around with, like, Nerf brains.
That's the claim, yeah. They supposedly locked a big chunk of our brain power so we wouldn't get any funny ideas.
So we're all just running on a fraction of our potential because of some ancient alien prank.
Well, they probably didn't think of it as a prank back then.
Probably not. So where do we go from here? We've got this study that challenges the standard view of evolution, and then all these different ways to interpret it, some scientific, some more, well, out there.
It is a lot to process, isn't it?
It is. It's like the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know.
That's the beauty of it, though, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
But before we spiral into an existential crisis, there's one more mind-blowing concept we need to touch on.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Quantum mechanics.
Quantum mechanics. Now we're talking. All right, so let's switch gears a bit.
Okay, where are we going now?
We're diving into the deep end of, well, weirdness.
Oh, sounds intriguing.
It is. It is. We're talking about quantum mechanics.
Quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
That's pretty complex stuff.
It is, but also super fascinating, even mind-boggling.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't,
Yeah.
physicists,
Yeah.
what is quantum mechanics in a nutshell?
It's basically the study of how things work at the tiniest level, like atoms and the particles inside them.
Okay, so like the building blocks of the universe.
Exactly. And here's the thing. The rules down there.
Down there in the tiny world.
Yeah, they're totally different from the rules we see in our everyday lives.
So like the laws of physics just kind of go out the window.
Kind of. It's like a whole different set of rules, a whole different reality almost.
So things behave in ways that just seem impossible to us.
Exactly. And it's not just theoretical, it's been proven through experiments.
Okay, I'm starting to see why you called it the deep end of weirdness.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Hit me with some quantum weirdness. Then.
Okay, so one of the most famous and mind-bending concepts in quantum mechanics is something called Schrödinger's cat.
Schrödinger's cat. I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a thought experiment, but a really powerful one.
And what's it about?
It's about a cat in a box.
Okay, I'm following so far.
But there's also a device in the box that has a 50-50 chance of releasing poison and killing the cat.
So it's like a deadly game of chance for the cat.
Yeah. But here's the weird part. According to quantum mechanics, until we open the box and look inside, the cat is both alive and dead at the same time.
Whoa, hold on. How can that be?
That's the paradox. It's called superposition.
Superposition.
Basically, it means that a particle, or in this case, a cat,
can be in multiple states at once.
Exactly. Until we observe it, until we measure it, it's in this blurry state of potential.
So it's like the cat is both alive and dead, like a coin spinning in the air.
Yeah, until it lands and we see which side is up.
And in this case, landing means opening the box and looking.
Exactly. The act of observing, of measuring, forces the cat to choose one state or the other.
So it's like we're creating reality just by looking at it.
That's one interpretation, yeah. And it gets even weirder when you start thinking about the implications for the whole universe.
Okay, how so?
Well, some physicists believe that this whole superposition thing might not just apply to tiny particles, but to everything.
Everything. Like planets and stars and galaxies.
Yeah. Maybe even the universe itself is in a state of superposition.
So, like, there are multiple universes existing at the same time.
That's one theory, yeah. It's called the many worlds interpretation.
Many worlds. So, like, every possibility, every choice creates a new universe.
It's a wild idea, but it fits with the math, with the equations of quantum mechanics.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, but it's also incredibly exciting, right?
It is. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about reality.
Exactly. And that's what I love about quantum mechanics. It challenges our assumptions. It pushes us to think beyond the limits of our everyday experience.
So where do we go from here? We've gone from alien creation to multiple universes in like 20 minutes.
I know, right? It's been a whirlwind tour of the strange and the unknown.
But it's not over yet, is it?
Not quite. We've explored these mind-blowing theories, but now it's time to circle back to the beginning, to that scientific study and what it all means for our understanding of, well, us.
All right, we're back. We've been through quite a lot in this deep dive.
We have, from challenging Darwin to alien overlords.
And don't forget those mind-bending cats.
Oh, yeah, Schrödinger's cat. Poor kitty.
So where do we even begin to make sense of all this?
Well, I think the first thing is to remember that science is all about asking
Right,
questions.
it's not about having all the answers.
Exactly. It's about exploring the unknown, testing theories, and being open to new ideas.
So even with this study that kind of shakes things up.
Yeah, the one that suggests a sudden burst of species.
Right. It's not necessarily about throwing out everything we thought we knew.
No, it's more about refining our understanding, digging deeper, looking for more evidence.
So how do we sift through all these different interpretations then?
I mean, we've got punctuated equilibrium, creationism, even alien creationism.
It's a lot to take in. How do we know what to believe?
That's where critical thinking comes in.
Critical thinking, okay.
Yeah, it's about evaluating the evidence, considering the sources, looking for biases.
So not just blindly accepting anything we hear.
Exactly. We got to ask ourselves, what's the evidence? What's the data?
And how does it all fit into what we already know about the world?
Right. And even then, science is always changing.
What do you mean?
Well, what we consider true today might be overturned by new discoveries tomorrow.
So we always got to be open to new possibilities.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of science. It's a never-ending journey of discovery.
It's kind of humbling in a way,
It is, realizing how much we don't know.
but also exciting, right? There's always more to learn.
Exactly. And that sense of wonder, that curiosity, that's what drives us to explore, to ask questions, to push the boundaries of knowledge.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the main takeaway you'd like our listeners to remember?
I think the most important thing is to embrace the mystery.
Embrace the mystery, okay?
Yeah, don't be afraid to question, to explore, to challenge what you think you know.
Because the universe is full of surprises.
It is, and the more open we are to those surprises, the more we can learn and grow.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
I agree.
To our listeners, thanks for joining us on this wild ride through evolution, creationism, aliens, and even quantum mechanics.
It's been a blast.
Keep those minds open, keep exploring, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.